seconds remaining.
Hello, and welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Beyond the Sun presentation between Vici Gaming and Old Boys. We've got our 2-game series here for iLeague Season 3 in the Chinese qualifiers, and this is going to be another Winter Wyvern game. Awesome. I am super hyped for this. It does mean the Queen of Pain does slip through the bans. Spearbreaker is not going to be in the hands of Yang this time around. Going to be going to the side of the Old Boys, so... Still, I maybe could find a Clockwork for him, and he'll do well in the off lane, but man, am I excited to see more Wyvern. For those wondering why I'm going to change my pronunciation from Game 1 to Game 2, well, when I was a little 11-year-old lad, I played a game called Warcraft 3, and the Orc campaign told me the mythical beast is pronounced Wyvern. That's what they were called in Warcraft. It's how they were pronounced multiple times in that game, but... We're not in Warcraft 3, we're in Dota 2, and as you could hear with this little soundbite here, well, not those in Dota TV, but...
Winter Wyvern.
It's Winter Wyvern, so we're going to switch it up, we're going to try that out, hopefully I don't jump in between the two over and over, but why, oh why not should we pick up the Winter Wyvern? Man, she did so much work in that last game. The Cold Embrace saving the Leshrac, the Splinter Blast doing good AoE damage, the 4-man Winter's Curse at the end. That was just so much fun. That was just incredible. I really enjoyed that, and I want to see more of it. So we're going to see it here. James most likely picking that up, while Dogfights runs the Bounty Hunter. They used to open up in 6.83 with a combination of Rubik and Night Stalker. Now they're looking at Bounty Hunter and Winter Wyvern. So a lot of utility, a lot of gank, a lot of early momentum going to be built up based on this, and... we'll see how well it controls heroes like Queen of Pain. If you get the curse onto Queen of Pain, you can kind of burst her down pretty well. Go for like a medallion against her, and her allies will hurt even more. And that's going to just bring her down all the more swiftly. So I'm looking forward to that. We'll see how it plays out. Again, I think they're going to follow through with the Leshrac if they're given it, as well as a hero maybe like Clockwork. I think Clockwork's really strong. The Centaur wasn't bad, though. I think Centaur is actually one of the better heroes in 6.84, so I could see them opening with that as well.
10 seconds remaining.
But beyond that, we have some bans coming through. Obviously, started with the Undying, the Earthshaker, the Phantom Lancer, the Lycan. But now we're looking at heroes like Gyrocopter and Lina. So, could we see a Vici strat? I mean, Gyrocopter is good in general. The call down is really nice, that kind of stuff. But I feel like Gyrocopter in particular is counter to Visage and Undying. The fact that they have these two summons, to an extent... some are really low value summons, some are really high value summons, but summons nevertheless that die based on how many hits they receive. Flatkin hits them in an AoE, so you can kill Tombstone Zombies, so you can kill Familiars. That's, I think, the truest value of Gyrocopter. Other than that, he's a pretty good carry that dishes out good damage in general and farms very fast. So... I don't know. I mean, other than the AoE factor, I definitely think that the Gyrocopter is more of a counter pick than anything. But we've seen him. I mean, we've seen Hal play him so much this patch already. I mean, he's just in general pretty strong. But we're seeing more and more of them used in more utility senses. So we'll see. For now, we've got this second ban here for Vici Gaming Potential. They will take the Lion off the table. They know they got their supports covered, so they'll take care of Lina and Lion. So the Old Boys have less to work with there. Probably we're considering the Vengeful Spirit as well, but Lion is still pretty much one of the best heroes in the patch. Hex got nerfed a little bit, but that's about it.
Seconds remaining.
So we're going to be looking at how Vici Gaming want to combo up this strat. Since they don't have the Leshrac option, will we still see the Centaur Warrunner? Will we be seeing something else?
Reserve time.
And there it is.
Radiant team pick.
So again, they still have that rush-in factor, where essentially you isolate a target with the Bounty Hunter or the Centaur Warrunner. You stomp them down, you double edge them, and if anybody comes in to help, that's when you hit them with the Winter's Curse. The Winter Wyvern, especially with the Glimmer Cape, is going to be able to move about the battlefield really nicely and find those openings with that ultimate. That could be just devastating. Skywrath Mage is going to come out though, and like I said, a lot of people consider the Skywrath a counter to Winter Wyvern as far as the silence, as far as the magical damage. You can just drop the Mystic Flare on the Cold Embrace, and if it's a lower level and they don't have a Glimmer Cape on them, that'll pretty much be an instant kill because they can't move out of it. But
10 seconds
with this Glimmer Cape build, I think that they can actually manage even against the Skywrath, and I feel like one of this hero's hard counters is no longer that based on one item, and that's the power of the Glimmer Cape. That's why people complain about it, is it because it makes some heroes completely useless, and I would say Skywrath is one of them. We're going to see less and less Skywrath, not because BKB is better or silence is less valuable, that kind of thing. We're going to see less Skywrath just because Glimmer Cape is a really good counter to him. And we're going to be looking for VGP's next pickup. I think Yang's Clockwork is one force to be reckoned with, and I would love to see it pretty soon. But for now, it looks like they're going to pick up the Invoker. If they go with the same lanes as before, we've got James on the Winter Wyvern. We've got Dogfights on the Bounty Hunter. We've got XLL or SSS on the Centaur Warrunner. And then Lin will be playing the Invoker, like a whisper. On the other hand, we've got Old Boys. DD will probably want to pick up that Spear Breaker offlane for himself. That would leave YYF on the Shadow Fiend mid. Still looking for Joe's carry. And then obviously the supports 820 and Long DD will split up however they feel most comfortable between the Rubik and the Skywrath. So I like the idea of Rubik in general. I mean, every single one of the spells I see here is something that I want if I'm the Rubik player in this position. I mean, there's a Cold Embrace might be not that great, because there's so much magical damage against you that it probably wouldn't matter. So Cold Embrace is probably the only spell that you don't want here. Everything else is pretty valuable. Double Edge is pretty weak too, because you self-inflict and you're not really prepared to take that much damage. So we'll see exactly what is going to be coming out, if the Rubik's going to be able to get some good spell steals, but I think what would be really good is if the Rubik had an Aghanim Scepter this game. I know people talk about how it's difficult for him to farm it, but if they approach the mid game and are saying, hey Rubik, why don't you sit back and just take a couple of camps? If you're able to farm up that item, think about the 2-second cooldown factor with all of these abilities. Go again, Winter's Cursing, and going for the Stampede, and getting tracks out, and all this stuff. Like, you want to be able to spam these spells, and I feel like with the shorter cooldown and the longer range, Rubik can do a lot more, and I would like to see that. But we're going to see the Morphling banned out. It's not a carry that VGP want against a Rubik Skywrath for sure, so they're just going to be picking something else up, and it's going to be that Clockwork I was talking about. Yang's Clockwork, yeah, I won't say it's legendary because a lot of people don't even know this team, but I would have to say that it is very impressive. He is one of the better Clockwork players that I've seen, and I've seen a lot. I mean, there are dozens and dozens across the world that have been in the top echelons of Clockwork performance, and I would say Yang is now among them. He really shines on this hero, and he's definitely the most comfortable on it. Along with their gank-centric mindset with this Bounty Hunter and with the Centaur, I feel like Clockwork fits what they want to accomplish with the offlane pretty well. It is a little vulnerable to the Skywrath Rubik +1. That kind of combo there is just going to be able to put out a lot of damage, pull him out of his cogs, and make it very difficult for him to disengage, but if he plays it smart, he should be okay. And we'll be looking for Joe's last pickup here. Last time he played the Lone Druid, he's obviously trying to experiment with newer heroes to work with. But at this point, it's no longer time for experimentation. It's time for knowing what works for your team and to put it on the battlefield. But we saw the Morphling banned out, Phantom Lancer, Gyrocopter. We'll see the Luna instead. And she's obviously a very powerful hero in the right hands. Has a lot of potential to just go in and fight against the opposition, but before Joe picks up a BKB, there is the risk of him just being nuked down by the Centaur. Like, the Centaur alone could take out, I would say, 60% of Luna's health with a good hoof stomp and double edge. So adding in extra damage, anything like a Sunstrike maybe from Lin, oh my, they could just blow the Luna up. So we'll see what Lin wants to go as far as his orbs go. We saw obviously the Quaz Wex Invoker never really got off his feet in the safe lane, but we did see that from YYF, so I would have to say Exhort is probably the way to go this time. There's so much lockdown on this side. Sunstrike is going to be an amazing skill. I mean, just with the Clockwork alone, you hookshot, you Sunstrike, you get a kill. But we'll see that Blades of Attack opener, which generally indicates a Quas Wex. At least they used to. I'm not sure how they build these days. Maybe they could just build for more of an advantage, but I think this is a Quas Wex build, even though I think Exhort might be better this game. Anyways, let's go ahead and introduce the two sides. Thank you guys once again for tuning in to the iLeague Season 3 Chinese qualifier here. We've got Zhou with his shiny cosmetic here, the Immortal Golden Moonfall. And yeah, he's going to be running on the Luna safe lane for the old boys on the Radiant side. We've got Long DD running the Rubik, already starting off with Dust to try to deal with this Bounty Hunter roam a little bit better. But Bounty Hunter already getting his ward down and moving about sneakily. So we've got 820 on the Skywrath Mage supporting. YYF is going to be the Null Talisman start, Queen of Pain. And then, of course, they've got DD in the off lane. He's going to be starting off with that charge, a lot of regen, and getting this ward down that does block this pull camp. So, good ward placed out there. But it looks like they want to fight level 1 on the Bounty Rune bottom. That's a difficult decision to make, because you really can't bring less than 4 people here. But it looks like they kind of want to go for it, and they will get it. They're going to get both Bounty Runes to start off. That's a great start for the old boys here. Being able to build themselves up. YYF, half a level forward. DD on the Spirit Breaker as well, but he will be hit by a stun. The Arctic Burn slowing him down, but Centaur doesn't stand on the high ground. Blocking, just standing up on these steps will automatically block out that pathway. It's a single file path if you stand in the middle, and yeah, that is actually something they could have done to try to get that kill, but as it is, they still get the Bounty Rune on to DD, and he's going to be making his way towards level 2 pretty quickly. Trying to think if there's anything else I missed here on the side of the old boys. Looks like no. 820 is going to be getting himself involved up top, up against this dual lane, since they know the Bounty Hunter isn't going to be like babysitting that lane. Bounty Hunter wants to roam around. He wants to kind of pull off some shenanigans in the enemy jungle, and as a result, this becomes a 2v2. This is not like your standard defensive tri-lane, as the Bounty Hunter just has to keep roaming, and in fact, roams right under a Sentry Ward. Rubik trades some hits with him. But Bounty Hunter does have 6 armor, so trading hits with him with a 1 armor hero with less movement speed against an Orb of Venom Bounty Hunter, generally it's not going to work out in your favor, even with a few free right clicks. But anyways, he's going to be waiting until level 2 before he really gets involved. In the meantime, we'll check out the other lanes. Lin is going to be going for Quas for now, and ferrying himself some regen just to hold off against this Shadow Strike harassment. YOF is really doing a number on him here in the lane. 7 and 5. Versus 3 and 1, and he clearly has put out more harassment as well. HP pool's just dropping more in that position. But down bottom, we're going to see a lift onto Yang. Not really accomplished too much as Dogfights comes into, and in fact, the Battery Assault, they could get the Cogs on the Long DD. If they get the Cogs, they get them on everyone. Long DD is going to be the first blood, and Zhou's taking a lot of damage too. Lucent Beam could come out, but it wouldn't do enough damage. He's just got to run back. That is a really good set of Cogs coming in from Yang, just manning up at the right time. This early 1-1 build paid off for it. Sometimes you see Rocket Flare in a defensive position, but obviously he and Dogfights want to get involved here. So he gets the stat shield. He, like I said, had a lot of regen, and now they're going to go for almost another play. If there wasn't a telekinesis, that would definitely be the right play, but now the dust comes out on Dogfights, and Yang has to help him out. The Cogs is not going to be enough to save the Bounty Hunter, just going to knock Zhou back. Twice, actually, so he's going to lose some heavy mana here, I think. Unless that was a range creep that I thought hit twice. In either case, we're going to see the Spirit Breaker. He's roaming away from top. He did have a double damage turn, got into a bit of a slugfest, but he's the one who's licking his wounds. He's the one who's got a few bruises to show off. And H20 getting caught out here. Dogfights makes his rotation after getting killed bottom and sets up a kill up top. This guy just not so good under pressure. He's a very glass cannon, and in this case they deliver the right strike to break him down. Quaswex is for Lin, so we'll see what he can do with the utility brought by this Quaswex build-up. I mean, obviously, ooh, just barely getting that Observer Ward. And if as far as blocking, it's like right on the line. I think it might be just south of the line as far as that spawn box goes, but it's actually pretty close. So Long DD pretty much placing the absolutely perfect ward, but I think he did open up that camp finally. But yeah, so Quaswex, you're going to get more mana burn against heroes like the Skywrath Mage, the Queen of Pain, in some cases the Luna, that's really good. The Tornado obviously gives you more range of initiation, so that's really nice. Just being able to kind of get those longer range disables, very more powerful there. But we're going to see a charge up top here. Centaur are going to cop some decent damage. They won't go for the concussive shot though, so they don't have any kill chance here. And I think that means that Cold Embrace could just heal Centaur back up. He's also got Tranquil Boots, so might not even need that spell to get himself back up to full. Bounty Rune spawns bottom, Haste Rune for Huawei up top. If he was level 6, I'd almost say he could do something with this, but hard to say. As it is right now, it's just the Boots of Speed. It's just the jump up top. It's going to be Cold Embrace on the Winter Wyvern, but she will be silenced up. She will be taking too much damage, and she only has 285 movement speed. So Wyvern goes down. And that is going to be the fourth kill in the game. 2 for 2 now, evened up. As far as overall net worth goes, pretty early to tell, but kind of neck and neck on all the lanes. I mean, the Clockwork is clearly doing pretty well for himself down in the off lane. The Centaur is farming up nicely up top, but Luna is still kind of building herself up there. She's actually topping out net worth now alongside the Queen of Pain. So, level 5 to level 7 is where the Luna hits her spikes. She starts off strong, just getting a couple points in the aura, then maxing out this Lucent Beam. It goes from 75 to 150 to 225. And when you hit level 5 and you're dishing out 225 on a 6-second cooldown, you're feeling pretty good. And obviously the Eclipse is a gigantic jump forward. Dogfights looks like he wants to snipe the Courier. It might be the perfect timing. Going in against the Flying Courier, the right click. Oh, one more will be delivered. And that's a Courier snipe, with YYF no longer having a TP scroll available. In the meantime, though, the Clockwork will be picked off here. They will just lift him up, and the Skywrath will knock him down. Good damage there. So, still, I think the snipe is a little bit more valuable than the Clockwork kill. Not sure, though. And double edge on the creep wave. He's acting like the Tranquil Boots give him this infinite health pool, and it kind of does, but only if he disengages. He's going to be under the tower here. DD looking for one more bash. He's too deep. He's just going to get double edged. Oh, no. There's no way that works without that last bash. The right click that came out here could have bashed, and that would have been a kill. But since it didn't, 17% doesn't work out. And that is just going to be him TPing home now. James going to pop the Cold Embrace, survive against the Queen of Pain. But setting up another Scream coming out shortly, and that's going to be the kill. Wyvern a little bit too far forward, and once again falling. That's actually the second death of this hero. Not the best to be out in the middle of the lane because of how slow she is. Just naturally. If she can find a way to get to the trees, that's great. She can use her Arctic Burn to disengage that way. But as it stands, it's just something that doesn't work out for her. We're going to keep tabs on a charge bottom while we look up top. 820 going to be taking a lot of damage here. The Cold Embrace, the Janata Slow, the Orb of Venom, and 820 will fall. Now down bottom, a nice bash coming through under the tower, but Joe not able to follow up with that Lucent Beam. And we're just going to see the charge instead go out on the mid. If you look at Dire Vision, they won't see it until this point here, and that might be too late. Oh, right under the tower. He'll go down. No cold snap for you. Dogfight's coming in. The Stampede comes out. Yang with the hookshot, though. 2 under tower. Oh, what damage coming out from Yang, and there's no blink away from YYF. They take down 2 for 1. They make it an easy trade. Dogfights will be picked off on the tail end of that with some good nukes coming out from the Skywrath and the Luna. But still, I gotta say that Yang hookshot really saved that situation. It would have just been a 1-0. Instead, they make it a 2 for 2. That's still a much better trade for them. And taking on the Queen of Pain is really important here, too. Queen of Pain actually going for the double null tally build. This allows you to get the ultimate sooner. Play around with Sonic Wave at level 6 instead of 7. But, yeah, it's going to slow the progression towards inevitably power treads and one more item. So let's just look at items overall. Earnest Shadows coming out for the Quaswex Invoker. So Lynn's going to see what he can do with that. A couple of bottles on both sides, but no tier 2 items at all. In fact, there's only 1 pair of phase boots and 1 pair of treads in terms of tier 2 boots. And look at... Oh, I was about to say, look at Centaur. He has no boots at all, but he's just Tranquil dropping. That makes sense. Curse you, item screen. Telling me your lies. But Dogfights, he has his track. He wants to probably use it here on the Rubik, but he has to watch out. Rubik already has Spell Steal available. If he tracks without covering it up with a Shadow Walk, that's going to be stolen the other way, and that's going to be a great steal for Rubik. He's just going to stay on the back line, continue to track all day long, and any kill they get is just going to be all the more valuable. It's a great benefit of Bounty Hunter's hero that would be just given back to the other side and kind of neutralized out for the duration. I'm also not sure about Wyvern roaming right here. I mean, maybe she doesn't feel safe top, but she's not really going to be able to get a kill until she gets level 6. There's no way you find a kill on the Queen of Pain without the ultimate unless you drain all of her mana first. You have to like EMP every ounce of her mana, and right now it's only 325 out of the 689. No, there's no way that they get the kill, but they're still here. Still looking for a 3v1 that I just can't imagine would happen. Like, if they nuke it absolutely perfectly with everything, sure, but as you can see, it's one blink, and suddenly she's fine. So, just really ambitious making that rotation, and that's not going to be a successful play, unfortunately, for them. And Yang here, she's going to be hanging out on the bottom. Seemed to go for Drums of Endurance a couple times, so I won't automatically assume this is the Blade Mill. But either way, he's getting farm, he's getting tankiness. That's the important thing. He can just get that much more aggressive as a result. So, here at the 10-minute mark, we're going to kind of get a state of the game here with the net worth advantage being about 1,400, the experience being near 0, and the items really just kind of progressing slowly. It is 6 for 6. Nobody's getting complete free farm. The big item pickup is going to be, of course, XLL's Blink Dagger, which comes out now. So, on the back of the fact that they have the hook shot, as well as Blink Initiation, it's going to be VGP that start to make the aggressive plays, that start to find the better fights, and it's got to be kind of old boys to start baiting a little bit. They have to maybe go for smoke plays where they leave a nice, easy target to be jumped on, and then have a sentry waiting for the Bounty Hunter to scout that out. But for now, it's going to be tier 1 pressure. We'll see if the flank is good enough, and under the guise of the Shadow Walk, Bounty Hunter will make his move, and obviously the Winter Wyvern is here. So with the glyph available, with the Stampede ready to go, this is going to be a good rotation coming in, and old boys have to get back. They do not see the smoke. It's going to be long DD to go down first. Nice silence, so there's no double edge, but still they kill off the Rubik, and DD walks right into that EMP with the charge. There's going to be the Eclipse coming out, some solar beams hitting onto multiple heroes, but Yang barely surviving with the Cold Embrace, and now XLL reinitiates the hook shot as well. Looks like Yang, no, he'll live. Yang will die to that last dove, the last arcane bolt, but it's so well worth it. Getting the Winter's Curse here, just as James hits level 6 again, they get another track kill, and it's on the Luna of all heroes. A 4-for-1 with track against carries. What a fight for VGP. They invis the Bounty Hunter up, they smoke up 2, and this ward gives them such a false sense of security. Thinking that they know exactly what's up, but there are 3 more heroes than intended in that lane, and they get the jump perfectly. Cold Embrace does not, in the end, save. Oh, whoa, 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 whoa! Long DD stealing the Winter's Curse. That might be a bit of a boo-boo. That might be a pretty big mistake. It's probably just an experience thing. If you haven't played a hero a ton, you forget what spells you need to cover up. But James, I mean, he definitely knows how Rubik plays. He's played Rubik quite a few times himself, so he knows the importance of covering up your spells, I'm sure. It's just, as far as like the muscle memory, the habit of covering your spells with other ones, sometimes you don't prioritize it so much if you haven't played that hero a bunch and played that matchup a bunch. So in this case, he gives Winter's Curse to the Rubik, and that could be scary. Sonic Wave, Winter's Curse, auto win for a fight. But XLL gets a perfect jump onto 2. Nice silence again, but they still are stampeding. The EMP onto Long DD will connect on him, but YWF has already blinked back and is just going to look for the Scream at long range. So Rubik goes down first. Now we're going to see the Spear Breaker fall. And the hook shot, not exactly how I wanted it to play out, but still Yang locking them in place. They'll pursue with the track. Dogfights is going down, but they might get more. Blinking back is YYF, but getting chased down is Joe with that Cold Snap. They'll bring him down on the eastern side, while Blink, Double Edge, cleans up the Skywrath in the west. YYF is the only survivor here, and they run them down. Really good initiation to bring down Long DD first. They Blink stunned onto 2, nearly blind. Like, if you look at the vision XLL had there, He knew that they were in that general area, but he did not know the specifics. So the fact that he got that jump, oh, Queen of Pain, getting stunned, getting Winter's Curse, getting killed. And that is a really unfortunate play. And he'll just maybe pop the Cold Embrace to cover up his spell again. Oh, he has to use it on himself here, so the Spirit Breaker doesn't Nether Strike him down, but Yang's Battery Assault and Cogs keep him in his place. Anywho, so yeah, really good that they jumped the Rubik first, because they took that spell out of the picture. That spell stolen, Winter's Curse, was taken out when they killed the Rubik. And that was a great jump from them to lock him down. So, this has turned into a hell of a game for VGP. It just seems like this is the timing. You just find that mechanism. I don't know why I said mechanism. That was... Anyways, we're going to see XLL jump on the Skywrath and bring him down very quickly as a casual cloak to mitigate some of those double-edge effects. And he'll just get healed up. At least a couple points there. But yeah, I kind of got my wires crossed there. We're going to see another strike onto the Winter Wyvern. She doesn't have any spells to keep herself alive. Maybe a deny, but unlikely. James will go down. Well, on the back end, though, I don't know why Dogfights went into this. XLL, he has the Blink Stun. He'll connect on a YYF. They bait in the Queen of Pain. That's why you go into it, to go for her, but she turns it around on you. She gets the Sonic Wave, the Blink away, and you're the ones to just add more fuel to the comeback fire. One right-click delivered, and that's going to be a 3-for-1. Sure, the Luna went down, but that's just a solo kill that you really can't keep track of everything. The fact that they won so heavily on the top lane really shows old boys are still sticking to this one, and they still have some real potential here. So yeah, Invoker was able to kill Luna off, 453 damage, cold snaps and tornadoes, and etc, etc. Now, I got my wires crossed a little bit talking about items earlier because I saw this burning build and I'm not the biggest fan, but I'll talk about mechanism in this game in a second. What I first want to talk about is like the tempo and the timing. The fact that they can get track, Blink Dagger and Centaur, and Winter's Curse up at almost exactly the same time each game. It really makes this lineup strong. These are the three important heroes here: Bounty Hunter, Centaur Warrunner, and Winter's Wyvern. The other two cores can be kind of a mix and match of anything that can initiate and get involved. And that's why if you look at their draft, the first three heroes were the Winter Wyvern, the Bounty Hunter, and the Centaur. And you pick those up, you make it work, and then you fill with whatever you need. We're going to see nice ward come out from Rubik with the Shadow Walk. Dire see this, though. Like, I'm looking at Dire Vision. That's a long DD TPing and Vision of the tower. And they're probably just going to take care of that ward. Anyway, so I want to talk about Mechanism now. Mechanism in this game. Obviously, Mechanism is a great item. It's good in general. Good to have on your team for the most part. In this case, they're sacrificing the Luna's carry potential to do so. Burning has built this a couple of times. He has built up a mechanism on his Luna, I think 2 or 3 times at least. And it's worked once. It did work in one of his games. But in general, the fact that you're sacrificing all this farm just for a little bit of durability on a hero that has to in-tread swap just to even have the mana for this item, I don't know, it's a little rough. I think Luna's going to have mana issues. She's going to have damage issues because of the fact that she really is not helping her farm here. Like, you see Eternal Envy go for a Mask of Madness and a Yasha, Joe's going for a mech. Like, it just, there's very significant differences in how fast you can farm. But we're going to see a 2-man stomp after the Tornado with the EMP, bringing 2 down. They bring down 820. The mech is the least of their worries. They're losing 4 heroes in a perfect initiation from VGP. They just played that so smooth. Just jumping in, they find the jump, they reveal themselves in a flourish, and with the Tornado, they combo up the best initiation they could have asked for. Just a convincing victory. Winter's Curse coming into play nicely, and boom. Now Joe by himself going to try to get the Eclipse off, but he can't in the Battery Assault. Now the creeps will tank it up a little bit, though, and at least they'll get the Lucent Beam off. But Joe pops the Eclipse onto absolutely nothing, and Yang just walks away. They have track movement speed now. So, yeah, I'm not so sure. But I will note that Mechanism is pretty important for old boys in general this game. They don't have a really easy hero to pick it up on, and they're getting run down. Health is a big problem. Surviving these ganks is a big problem. But I just don't feel like Luna's the ideal hero to carry it. And I don't know if that's what they had in mind going into this game. But we're going to see dogfights go in, and the hook shot will actually not connect. They had vision, but he's just a bit off the mark with his where he clicks, and I guess he thought he'd stay in this part of the path instead of this path, but we're going to talk about the fight now. Zhou going to get double-edged. 2 down now. The hook shot may have missed, but we're going to see them pursue them to no end here. That EMP actually hitting on both of them here. The Spirit Breaker go... Actually, he got the Nether Strike. He's doing what he can. He almost kills off Yang. No Lucky Bash, though. He'll go down. That's a 5-man wipe. Just everything was so all over the place in that fight for Old Boys. And, I mean, if you just look at where they died. Here, 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 here. Like, I'm jumping a different camera spot every single time. They're so scattered. They're just getting run down. They don't know where to take a fight. They don't know how to take their engage. And they can't fight without Sonic Wave either. So, it's just, there's so much awkwardness going on with Old Boys. Just general coordination and strategy in these fights. The tactical sense really isn't there. The shot calling is quite limited. So I really feel like it's just VGP are taking advantage of Old Boys when they're scattered, when they're in disarray, and never really giving them the chance to regroup. Lin stalking on bottom, for example. The second Joe hits this creep wave, he's going to get hit by a number of spells and probably go down. We'll see if the mechanism's enough to keep him alive here. Going to go the Cold Snap, the Orchid, the EMP, the Shuriken, and that's the kill. So Orchid doing the enhanced damage here is 30% increased damage, and that's going to be enough to kill off the Luna when she has absolutely no support. The other item I'll talk about as far as mechanisms go is actually on the Winter Wyvern. I really like the idea of Glimmer Cape on the Wyvern. I think that makes Cold Embrace such a powerful tool for surviving. And up against the Skywrath Mage and a Luna in particular, they put out a lot of magical damage between Eclipse and Mystic Flare. So I think that actually Glimmer Cape is even better than Mechanism on Wyvern. But he picks up the mech, he'll do what he can with it. EMP stolen, going the other way. Not gonna hit on anybody though. YYF blinks out just barely. DD, what happened here, man? Cancels the charge right next to them, and they pop him out with the cogs. Now the hookshot's coming out of line, and although they don't have any more follow-through from the Clockwork, they should have one more spell coming in from the Invoker. Cold Snapped, Arctic Burned, and finished off. Oh my, just look at the net worth. This is track golds. This is easy kill money. 30 to 11 is your kill count. Your track count is probably like 12 at least from dogfights, so feeling pretty good. Their net worth advantage is just insane. Gotta pad those stats, 22,000. Now YWF gets Orchided, and once you're Orchided, you're essentially dead. There's no hope. Now Winter's Curse on the long DD. He was able to steal Arctic Burn. He'll try to see what he can do with that, but right now, he's not in a good spot. At least they do waste the Winter's Curse. This might force VGP to play passive for, you know, all of 80 seconds. So we're going to see Yang with the Aghanim Scepter, and I say why not? He went for Blade Mail, now into the Ags, and honestly just keep the fights rolling. I mean, don't need to wait on a cooldown when you've got your Aghanim Scepter giving you the mana, giving you the timing. And it looks like they'll not even wait for the Winter's Curse. They're going to just look for the hook shot. This one will miss. Unfortunate, Yang misses 2 hook shots in a row. That would be considered fairly easily from most, but maybe he has just a small issue with his timing, or
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Sometimes your mouse does weird things when you're trying to land up those clutch skill shots. A very important pickup here is the Aghanim Scepter onto XLL. The fact that he has this now gives his team 70% damage reduction incoming based on when they have the Stampede active for the 3 3/4 seconds. Almost 4 seconds of 70% damage reduction. And it's better than Kuka's Boat. It's like, I mean, you don't even receive that damage. Oh my, XLL just popped the Blink Dagger. They're going to charge onto him with a Tornado. Hitting onto 3. The Eclipse is wasted. And now they're going to go in hard. 820 going down. The Sonic Wave only hitting on 2. The mech healing them right back up. And that should be it. This fight is just too much for them to bear. They are now in a 24 kill deficit. And with the secondary hookshot, they might find another one. 36 to 11. Triple kill for Yang. 11.7k net worth Centaur over 5,600 of the Queen of Pain. It's a 5-man net worth advantage. 5 on top, 5 on bottom. Dire over Radiant. Just absolutely demolishing Old Boys here. And it's all about the kills. It really just comes down to how well they're able to control the map, keep the ganks rolling, keep the vision advantage, and find all those opportunities to kill. Their momentum just couldn't be stifled. They put out so much there. They were able to do a ton of really good work. And James ends up getting the Guardian Greaves, which I think is great for the passive 20% effect. So, nope. In the end, Vici Gaming Potential, they find every opportunity to dive and kill and just strike while the iron's hot. I really like this drafting mentality from them, and I think it's going to be something that teams have to start researching and respect banning out, or Vici is going to be a serious contender in a lot of 6.84 games. This is a really smart way to play the game. Anyways, that's going to wrap up game number 2 for us today. We've got one more 2-game series coming up for you guys here, so obviously, as we see it, Vici Gaming Potential taking it away over Old Boys. That's a 2-0. But now, looking at this next game here, we're looking at a really nice matchup, or at least I would hope so. Obviously, the Old Boys looked a little bit weak here, but they're still some legendary players, and they're going to go up against a legendary brand in eHome. That's right, H20 is going to be facing off against his old club, his old team, whatever you want to call it. H20, the legendary eHome player from 2011, is going up against eHome China here in just a few minutes. So I can't wait to see that. I think that's going to be a lot of fun. But the way that Old Boys played it here, they got to be a little bit shaken, and they're going to have to get their heads back in the game. So we'll see how they perform here in just a few minutes. Thanks for tuning in once again, guys, and I'll see you guys for our 3rd game today, eHome versus the Old Boys. Once again, I am Blaze. Follow me at BlazeCasting, BeyondSummit.tv. See you guys soon.